Right.
Hey, welcome everybody. This is Let's Develop. I'm your host, Chris Woolley, and we've got some kind of cool stuff happening today. So first off, if this is your first time watching, welcome to the show. This is an educational series. Today we've got If You Ain't First, You're Last with Bruce and Josh Hudson, where we're looking at how to improve your client experience. So if you don't know much about what's Let's Develop, it's a webinar series. Every 2 weeks, we bring in an amazing photographer, and they just drop a whole bunch of information on you. It's free to watch, and we just have a good time. So thank you to ACI, American Color Imaging, for help making this possible. And if you did miss the last episode that we have, The Heart of an Artist with Tony Harriman, it is live on ACI's website, acilab.com/let's-develop. You can watch that now, as well as all of the previous episodes that we've done. So make sure that you're checking that out. So this is a live webinar series, which means that we do get to interact. So if you have questions, comments, anything like that, type them into chat. I'll be moderating that, and we'll be able to actually ask Bruce and Josh these questions and get real answers that's on here. So make sure that we are using that chat feature. And if you stay till the end, we do have some prizes and giveaways from ACI. So we want to make sure that we're watching out for that as well. Okay, let's get into the content now. So I am excited to introduce you to my friends, Josh and Bruce Hudson. They are at the top of their game when it comes to the photography industry. So Bruce Hudson, he's a master photographer, craftsman. He's part of Camera Craftsman. He's an author, an educator. He's done over 1,200 weddings, tens of thousands of family and high school senior portraits. He's spoke or done presentations in I think every state, plus a whole bunch of different countries all over the world. He is the guy. He's got the National Award, Lifetime Achievement Award from WPPI, Helen Yancey Award from PPA. The list just goes on and on. And if you think that's impressive, Josh Hudson, holy cow. He's the guy that knows and keeps Bruce on track with stuff in terms of running the studio. He's the kind of the man behind the curtain there. But his marketing IQ is just kind of off the hook. He knows what it takes to get people attending, to get clients, to get people in your front door. He's going to be sharing some of his success and secrets here. You might have seen him doing programs. He's also been all over with Bruce doing that. Columnist for smartshooter.com. You might have seen him as part of Sarah Petty's stuff, or educational series mystudiomentor.com. He also is on PPA Social Content Committee, and he's done stuff for their magazine, IPS Master. It just goes on, and he's got a ton of educational resources too. So we've got the power duo right here, and they're going to be sharing information with us today on client experience. So you know what? I'm just going to let them take it away because they have way more to share than I do. So Josh, Bruce, care to take it away?
All right. Well, thanks, Chris. And sorry, we're a little underdressed. We're wearing our Seahawks stuff because we're big Seahawks fans, even though they really suck this year.
Yeah, I don't know. 3-7. We could have maybe wore something different.
I don't know. Well, it was either that or a bow tie. So
the bow ties are it.
I know. So anyway, we're really excited because we are going to present for the first time ever. In fact, we just finished this about an hour ago, believe it or not.
Yeah.
If you ain't first, you're last. And how many out there are familiar with Talladega Nights? Ricky Bobby, that whole thing. How many, Chris, maybe you can tell us how many are familiar, or they go, what?
If you've seen it, if you know Talladega Nights, put in chat or comments right now. Who's seen the Will Ferrell movie?
Yeah, so it's, we kind of see ourselves as, the whole theme of that is kind of shake and bake. They were partners. Ricky was kind of the main car driver, but his partner, what was his name?
Cal,
would kind of set him up for success, and that's kind of the way Josh and I work. I'm the talented one. He's the smart one, right?
We have a saying here at the studio. It's shake and bake, baby. Shake and bake.
That's right.
So, and so that's kind of where all this comes from. If anybody was like, what? I don't get the connection, but that's what it is.
That's what it is. So we're going to share with you tonight 5.5 successful strategies to the client experience. And if you're not familiar with Talladega Nights, Ricky Bobby's dad, that's what he always told Ricky. He says, growing up, if you're not first, you're last. And so with that, here's our bio. I think we're going to skip this because Chris, you did a great job.
Yeah, Chris pretty much just named all of it. So,
he did. So we're going to skip this. If you want to learn more about us, you can later. But in the beginning, to take this concept, if you ain't first, you're last, it really goes back to my high school days. Now, I was a musician back in those days, got the long hair there in the early 70s. And one of my best friends, Bill Hoffman, his uncle was a very famous horse trainer at Longacres, which was a local track here in the Seattle area. And I got hooked on horse racing. I don't know if you really knew that.
I didn't know that.
So being able to be kind of behind the scenes and learning from his uncle, one thing the uncle always said is, it only takes, a fraction of a second to win, or just a quarter of an inch, the nose over the finish line to win. And the difference between winning and getting second place is huge in some cases. The main purse is a lot bigger than what they're going to get for second or third or fourth. So I've always kind of had that concept in mind. Chris, you know me pretty well. I'm pretty competitive person. And so this whole concept tonight is just making sure that you're able to nose over that finish line, or in the case of Ricky Bobby, finish first.
Yep.
Because if you're not first, you're what?
You're last.
That's right.
Yep. So our first strategy we're going to talk about tonight, and just to give you guys fair warning, I mean, we've taught week-long schools on this stuff. So condensing it down into an hour, if you have any questions or anything, please answer afterwards, or you can ask them and we'll get you answered after we're done. We're going to have about 10 minutes of question and answer. But one thing I want to ask the audience before we kind of get into it here, and you can just type it in while we get going. How many of you out there are doing in-person consultations prior to the session with your clients? So that'd be something I would want to, Chris, maybe in a few minutes after people type it in, give me a head count or something on that.
Right now we've got, so far everybody's saying yes, they are. Maybe no one's raising their hand saying nope.
Fantastic.
Like, yes, you got to do that. You got to do that.
Yes. Good. All right.
But we got one person that's not doing that yet.
Okay. Well, that's good. Because
we want their name and their email so we can taunt them, because they need to be doing that, right?
I wouldn't say taunt. I would say we want to help.
Help. Okay. Help.
Because what you guys are going to find here in the next 45 minutes or so is really how not only we've had a studio that has been a success for now 40 years, but a lot of these strategies is what has kept us not just surviving, but thriving during all of this pandemic stuff, and for those of you that are on the East Coast or in the South or whatever, we are in King County, which is still one of the most locked down counties in the entire country right now. It's a little daunting sometimes to try to run a business here, especially one where we like to meet with people in person. So trust me, guys, we get it. And so here's kind of some strategies for that kind of that heightened client experience that's really kept us going here even these last few years.
So first impression, that first impression these days is your website, the online presence. Don't underestimate the importance of your website. We're going to go over each of these separately. You must be optimized for both mobile and non-mobile. Josh will talk about that. Need to be kept up to date with your images and content, and be current with your SEO. Josh will talk about that also. And then also consider creating a separate site for each type of your photography. And we'll get into the whole concept of that as well.
So, and not too many years ago, actually, honestly, we were one of the first to have a website back in like the late 90s for the studio. And and back then, like, you had a website built and you spent tens of thousands of dollars and then you didn't touch it for 10 years, right? Those days are over. Do not be complacent. You've got to continually your website needs to be continually evolving as technology evolves, as smartphones evolve, as tablets, as consumer habits evolve. We just wrapped up a redesign on our main website last year, and then we redesigned our senior site. This next year, we're redesigning our commercial site, and we're constantly churning through all of our tools online that get people to call us, right? And just making sure that we're up to date on everything. So do not be complacent. If you've been putting off that website redesign, because of money or time or whatever, like make that a priority, because that's really going to make a huge difference, because that is really your first impression to most clients these days.
Yeah. And this site here is probably about 10 years old, would you say? Or maybe a little more?
More like 15.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the site before this was one of our first sites, and it was really bad. And I got complacent. Be very honest with you. I got complacent. This is before Josh came on with me. And so that particular site before this, or two before this, we had everything on it. And we'd send out cards to high school seniors, and we would get traffic to the site, but we would not get any business from it. And because I got complacent, at that point in time, we had been in business 25 years. I was a master craftsman photographer. I just got complacent. I didn't think it was that important to have a good website, and I was wrong. So Josh was able to kick me in the butt and really get me going here.
Well, and what we did was we started looking at the analytics on the site of, okay, here's the day we sent out a big, massive postcard mailing, things that used to work, right? And we got, 500, 600, 700 hits on the website that day. And you could see where those were coming from. So I knew it was the area that we were kind of farming for high school seniors. And people were dropping off the site in less than 10 seconds and no calls. And so we actually took it further, and we had a focus group with some local high school kids and said, what do you think of our marketing? What do you think of our website? And they don't hold anything back, 17-year-olds, and they go, look, it sucks. Why would I use you? Your website's dated. The picture on there says class in 1997. Like, we're in the 2000s now, but I'm proud of my dad, because he was like, okay, cool. So I need to make this more of a priority. And ever since then, I think that next senior season, we had 150% increase in bookings. And so it's sometimes you have to peel back the onion a little bit and go, God, my Facebook ads aren't working. God, those Facebook ads suck. Well, is it the Facebook ad, or is it the landing page on the website you're sending them to? So you got to peel back that onion and know your numbers. Nowadays, you must have a website that is fully optimized for both desktop viewing and mobile viewing. Okay. I recommend WordPress. I've actually gone and done some teaching for them during WordCamp a couple of years ago, pre-COVID here in Seattle. I was one of the featured speakers, and I actually sat down with web designers and talked to them about the importance of using photographs and partnering with photographers and things like that. So I'm very well versed in this world. And I recommend WordPress sites. All of our sites are built on the Divi theme, which we love. It's super easy. A novice can drag and drop like nobody's business. But one of the most important things nowadays is that client experience online. Please have a clickable phone number and email right on the top of the website. Okay. Having that is going to set you apart from a lot of other photographers out there with their websites. Just being able to click it when people are researching and being able to call you and email you. I noticed a huge uptick once we kind of integrated that onto our sites about 6-7 years ago, when that actually started to become more the trend. So if you don't have that, add that right now. That will definitely help.
Keep updated on your images and content. Like Josh was saying, I didn't do that before he came in. And so it's very important. And especially with a website where people, they're coming to you, they're looking for something. In this case, we do a lot of portrait sessions around the holidays, and Josh is going to go in and he's going to update it. It might be the Black Friday deals, or it might be the home for the holidays. And it really, that's why we've been so busy here the last, few weeks.
Yeah. I'm spending money on Google ads, on Facebook ads, Instagram, hitting our client lists via email. We've got cards going out. And when people come to our website, I want to present to them, something that's timely, something that's updated. If a client goes to your blog and you haven't posted in 3 years, take the blog off. Just get rid of it. Okay. a lot of times people will go there, or the content's dated. It'll say, welcome class of 2019. Well, now we're class of 2022. It's little things like that where they think, God, are they even in business anymore? And I've heard this from clients so many times that they love that when they come to our site, immediately right there on the navigation bar, they can see exactly what's going on, exactly what we're promoting right now. So that's just a little trick, put your landing pages right on the navigation bar. I've got Home for the Holidays up there right now. I've got Santa, which we just sold out, so I'm going to take it down. And then Black Friday is coming up, so I've got all that stuff on there as well. So, and then when people click on them, they go to you want to click the button, it goes to a landing page that's already set up and ready to go. It's a formula that's worked really well for us, and we churn through a lot of leads because of it.
All right. And, keeping up to date, and what we want to share with you right now is a video that we had created here just a few months ago, and we want to show it to you right now.
Having the ability to capture a moment is very satisfying, and the feelings that I'm able to capture in those images do last forever.
There's pivotal moments in every family's life, and a lot of those pivotal moments are documented through the photographic medium.
It's amazing to me how powerful the images are that I've created over the years.
We know exactly what we were put on this planet to do, and it's build relationships with our clients and create memories for them.
My love of photography actually started in high school. I decided to go into music and teaching, and so I became a high school band director, and kind of the outlet was photography. Being able to kind of follow my passion of capturing moments in time for my clients, and from that become part of their legacy.
As you can imagine, we had a lot of portraits in our home. That was very normal to me. Memories sometimes fade, but when you've got something that you can tangibly look at, it really reminds you of why you work hard and why you do what you do. And generations who aren't even born yet are gonna enjoy this piece of art.
To me, it's one of the most fulfilling things that I could ever do on a day-by-day basis.
We don't know what's coming down the pipeline for us. Nobody does. I lost my mom when I was 13. All I have is my memories. But in addition to my memories, I have all these wonderful family portraits. I really feel like our legacy to the world, and the reason why we were put here on this earth, as Hudsons, is to capture that for our clients.
If this was the last portrait ever taken of you, how do you want to be remembered?
If family is your number one priority, then this is the place that you need to be, because this is where you're going to get the biggest return on that investment. I guarantee it. So if you believe your family's legacy is just as important as we do, go to our website and download our free family portrait guide.
Or better yet, give us a call. Your legacy matters and deserves to live forever.
So one thing that we want to do always is when people come to the site, we want them to know exactly why they're there and what we're all about and what our why is. And that's the whole purpose of that particular video. And I think that's one reason why we have been as busy as we have here the last few months since that came up.
Yeah. No, and it's testimonial videos. We have them on there as well. It's that first impression, guys and gals. I mean, it's just them coming to our site and seeing that just below the fold. I mean, I'm looking at our numbers, and things have spiked. Despite COVID and despite all the lockdowns that we're dealing with here in King County, it's really hitting a nerve with people. So, just if you ever thought about having a video produced, get something up on your website for that first impression. Also, keep your SEO current. Okay. Part of that client experience is getting in front of people that are actually looking for the services and products that you're providing. Okay. So you can see here, and I'm a Google dork. I mean, I'm a marketing guy. I love it. So, every quarter I go in and I look at, the top trending keywords based on what kind of services and stuff that we do. And right now, Home for the Holidays and Black Friday are trending way up, right? You can see there Google's prediction of where we're going to be, in November and December. And then you can see there right after the holidays in January, these keywords go down, obviously. So I want to make sure that I'm updating the meta tags and all that stuff on our website, and the descriptions, and getting landing pages and things that are going to pull people in that are actively searching for things like this. It's interesting when you talk to clients and they're like, yeah, I Googled, family portraits around Christmas time, and you guys came up number one. And it's like, that's amazing, because that was exactly my plan, right? So just keep that in mind, that, doing these little things behind the scenes and getting in front of these potential clients is part of that client experience.
And then also considering having separate sites for each type of photography. And when we had that focus group way back when, one of the things that they said was, our site was dated, but we only had like one page on the website that was dedicated to high school seniors. So that's when we really started looking at being able to add a lot more content by having a separate site and branding a different type of photography. So our senior one, Seniors by Hudson's. Oops, sorry about that.
You're popular. Clients wanted to book you.
Yeah. It was scam or spam. Sorry. But so the first thing that we did was do a Seniors by Hudson's site and branded it Seniors by Hudson's. And this is our newest one. I got to thank Carla Conrad, our good friend and fellow photographer, for putting this together. Amazing. And this is also on the Divi theme as well. But we also have our Hudson's commercial site. And the cool thing about this is you're able just to dedicate, copy and content and images just based on commercial. Or our Hudson's photo workshops. We do workshops here out of the studio, and that's a whole different program, trust me. But so we have our own dedicated website for that as well.
So when clients call and they go, it's so cool that you specialize in just senior portraits. Yeah, we do. Oh my gosh, so cool that you specialize just in business headshots. Yeah, we do. Because they're finding those sites on there, right? And it's exactly what they're looking for. Once again, yes, it's marketing, but it's also that client experience. You're making it very easy for them to choose you. Okay. All right. Social media real quick here. We're going to go over these 4 points. Like I said, I could do a week-long school on social media, but we're going to do it here in about 5 minutes. Fresh content. Timely content that has continuity with your other marketing and your messages and relationships. Okay. Fresh content, post daily. Okay. There's nothing worse than somebody going to a website or maybe finding you on social media and then looking and going, God, they haven't updated it in 3 months. I've seen studies where 80% of millennial buyers will follow and interact with a company or a brand on social media before they ever make a buying decision. So for the younger generation, this is huge. And what we've also found is we've connected with a lot of the older generation through these mediums as well. But you have to make sure your content's fresh. For me, we're always posting behind the scenes stuff. Like it was a beautiful day here the other day. I had a high school senior session in Seattle. Got a behind the scenes shot of my dad, or yesterday, updating the Instagram story, installing these beautiful metal floating mountain portraits in a client's home. And, that kind of stuff just continually out there. Just make it a habit, post daily, post multiple times daily. Just make sure your content is fresh. Timely, what's coming up on Friday, Black Friday. For those of you that don't know, I'm a big Black Friday supporter and proponent in the photography industry. And a lot of people go, I don't discount. There's a huge opportunity. And in most years, we put 5 figures in the bank between Black Friday and Christmas, just in gift certificates and gift cards to photo classes and all that. And it's something that our clients look forward to every year now as we brand everything with the Santa hat on the Hudson's D and all that. So I'm constantly looking at what's going on in the world, what's going on in different holidays, what's going on here locally, and making sure that my content is matching that and it's very timely. So there's kind of one example of what I'm doing right now. Continuity wise, okay. You've probably noticed in our video, you see us hanging wall portraits. If you go to our website, we've got whole sections there that are just about wall portraits. You download a free guide that's all about how to decorate your home with wall portraits. Our theme and the continuity that we like to put out there is wall portraiture. That's what we like to sell. That's what we provide for our clients. So that's really reflected in a lot of our content. The one on the left there, that was a delivery we made today. A nice 50-inch, 40 by 50 inch, and a whole bunch of other smaller ones. Nothing smaller than a 16 by 20 though. And then yesterday delivering, it was actually my neighbor's house, those metal portraits and hanging them for him. So that's the kind of content you're going to see with the continuity, is that finished artwork, because that's really what we want to sell. So I want to show it.
And why do we want to sell it? Because it's the most profitable out there for the amount of time we spend, right?
Yep.
Wall decor is the most profitable.
And then for us, social media is all about building relationships and telling stories. From day one, I didn't necessarily view it as a lead generation vehicle, although it has been, and there are certain ways to do it correctly. Obviously, we're not going to go on that today. But if somebody is looking for a photographer and they find you on Instagram, they find you on Facebook, they find your website, however they get to your social media pages, they will dive into them and they will read and they will research. And so for me, a lot of this stuff is fun, but it's put out there with intent. High school senior session, the girl was super nervous, had a great time, gave us a great testimonial. My dad's going to have a shot snapped with her by mom, and we're going to put that on Instagram, right? Or how we just did First Financial Northwest. We did their board portraits again, and you can see there all the other portraits we've created for them over the last 40 years, and telling that story of the history of us and them, and how a lot of the board members have been really good clients of ours over the years and all that stuff. Okay. So when it comes to that, the type of clients you want to attract to give them that amazing experience, they're going to be into this. They're going to be into the relationship aspect. So
absolutely. Well said. All right. Strategy 2, first impressions in person. So we have a studio in a office park or business park, and it's kind of a boring place, and what's going to have us stand out is our entryway. And so we always make sure that we have nice fresh flowers with these beautiful planters. And this is actually a good way to let people know where we are. They're kind of, what would you call it? Landmarks?
Yep. We say, look for the blue planters with the flowers, and people come right in. And we always get comments because it's something my dad takes a lot of pride in, and it's always seasonal, right? Right now the mums are kind of dying off. So we're going to go get some little trees and put them in there and put Christmas ornaments on them. And it's become a thing.
And then in the lobby, once again, when Josh talks about that continuity, what do you see? You see large family wall decor on the walls there. So that first impression, it's also spotless. That's one thing that we found that our perfect client really appreciates is cleanliness and things that are organized. If you are going to have your awards and your different trophies and things like that, I would suggest doing it in the lobby, because that's the first impression that you're going to be giving them. We also have a studio dog, Posh, and Posh is a big fur ball, and people love her. She sits at the front door looking out. When people come in, we can hear them, oh, so cute, so cute. And then I have her trained. Well, I guess she learned it because she likes treats. Anyway, I tell them, okay, go show them where to sit. And so she runs into the projection room, jumps up on the couch. And so she shows her tricks, and our clients absolutely love her. So she's part of our family. She even has a article that she writes in our newsletter, and this is part of that right there.
Well, and I don't know if you intended for this to happen, but we used to have a studio cat named Retouch back in the day in our old studio. But there is something, and they've documented it, there's something calming about having a pet, right? So when people come in, sometimes maybe a little apprehensive, like, what's this consultation all about? How much is it going to cost me? And then you have this dog that's loving on you. It kind of just neutralizes the air a little bit sometimes, especially for the dads, right? So as much as I don't like having a dog at the studio, I guess we have to keep her because she does a good job.
She's worth more than her weight.
Okay.
It's worth
Glad you figured that out.
Yeah.
And then artwork. Not only are we showing, photographic art, but we're also showcasing other forms of art. This is a beautiful glass sculpture that we got actually I don't know if you remember when we got this. This was in Venice.
Yeah, in Venice. Yeah.
Years and years ago. And so people, they're, oh my God, you enjoy art. I go, yeah, I'm an artist. I enjoy art, different forms of art, things like that. So it's not just photographs that they're going to see. It's also other pieces of art. I mentioned the cleanliness thing. We have, we try to approach it like if you go to a fine dining establishment, they just don't have paper towels. They usually have real towels that are folded up, rolled up. And I can't tell you how many times I have people come out of the bathroom, especially women, they go, I really appreciate how clean your bathroom is. And I love the real towels.
Yep. It's so funny. Trust me. I know I can.
It sounds crazy. I know.
I can't see you, but I can see the eye roll and I can see the head shaking.
You're going, really?
And it does. Oh my gosh. I mean, this family that we just delivered 8 wall portraits to today, when she was here, she went into our bathroom, came out and she goes, I absolutely adore your bathroom. I can tell you guys spent a lot of time and money remodeling it and making it look nice. And thank you. I really appreciate it. These people have a 100-foot yacht sitting in front of their house on the lake on Mercer Island. Okay. It's these little things that you don't, it's like that extra nose across the finish line.
That's right.
So, you know,
if you ain't first,
you're last.
You're last.
Yeah. So good point. I'm glad you put that in there.
Good. So, strategy 3, collateral material. So when they do come to you or you're sending things out to them, they have to be first class. We prefer doing 4-color. It's a lot, less expensive now than it used to be with offset. And so we use Marathon Press for a lot of our work. We use a local printer here who's in my BNI as well for our family portrait guide, our folder, our newsletters. So it has to be first class, and not just great printing, but also great paper. I guess I'm kind of a paper nerd.
If you're getting a price list, and you're looking in the portraits are thousands and thousands of dollars, and it's just super flimsy. It just, to me, I know maybe I'm being we're kind of the same way, but it's got to be every aspect of it has to be nice, right? And so this is kind of one reason why you developed this here the last year or two.
Yeah, this is really cool. This is like a little folio leather thing that we had created. And the price list, that is actually metal. So when I hand this to people to look at it, it's like, it's heavy. I actually got the idea from a winery called Col Solari, which is here in Washington State. And their wine menu for wine tasting is metal. And it's just like with these bottles of wine, okay? It's amazing, the whole, perceived value. People in the wine world, the heavier the bottle, the better it is. And that's just kind of the way that people perceive it because of the amount of lead that they can put in the glass, correct? Mm-hmm. All right. We've also created an album that shows all of our other products and things like that. That they're able to look at while they're here as well. Our newsletters, once again, we do 4-color. These are 8.5 by or 11 by 17 folded. And so we try to put them out every quarter. In this case, we have the winter recipe. So we try to really go more on the personalized instead of commercialized kind of side of things. And so I share my Northwest Cioppino recipe. And if anybody wants it, let me know because it's killer. So.
And then anytime we get, and the cool thing is we've got different folders for each different niche that we have. We've got our commercial folder, we've got our senior folder, our family folder. So when people come in for the consultation, it's that continuity, right? It's the same logo they saw on the website. They're coming into the studio. And so it's really, we're operating multiple brands out of the same building. Mm-hmm. And so my dad wrote a book a number of years ago and just had it republished with some new chapters, Relationographer 2.0. If anyone's interested, you can go to hudsonsuccess.com, pick it up there. It's a great read, especially the chapter on social media by this Josh Hudson kid that he let me put in there. So
I've read it. It is a good book.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So
thanks, Chris.
So that's something, somebody coming in, thinking about booking a half or a full day commercial shoot. And, oh my God, you wrote a book on marketing. Yeah, I'm way more than just a photographer. I want to help you, create imagery with intent and impact that we can use on all aspects of your business. People go, oh my God, like you're way more than just doing headshots. Like you're actually going to help my marketing person and work with my web designer. And it's, you start adding that value, and then that, that cost that is sitting in front of them tends to start to look a lot more reasonable. Mm-hmm, right. Mm-hmm. So, and one thing I love about this, and I know there's a trend out there, like never let the price list out of your studio, don't send the client home with anything. For me, like I got 3 kids. My wife's extremely busy. I'm extremely busy. sometimes there are things that we have to do separately, right? I am not going to make any sort of financial decision without having my wife on board. A, she's the breadwinner in the family. B, I like being married. So, to have this like, well, you don't get to take the priceless home. Well, if you've got mom or dad that comes in and they want to show the spouse when they get home after the consultation, I say, absolutely. Here's this amazing packet with all of this collateral stuff, with our price list, with my dad's bio of how amazing he is, all of this stuff, right? We have had clients tell us, when I told my husband the price, he was like, absolutely not. And then after a day of looking through your packet of stuff, he goes, and website, he goes, maybe you're right. Maybe it is time to do something really special. And, God, this guy seems like he knows what he's doing. It's because he's reading through everything. He's got all of this tangible stuff. So a lot of this is strategic as well. It's not just to wow them when they're here. It's that knowing that they're going to take it home and share it with their spouse or a grandparent or whatever. And I want that same experience that person felt walking into our studio to be when they open up that folder to show that person at home that wasn't able to be here as well. Does that make sense? Good.
Makes sense to me.
Okay.
Well said.
Too. Yep.
All right. So strategy 4, the session. This is where you're actually, being the creator. And this is our workflow. And most people think of workflow with images, right? How do you do the image workflow? But this is really our session workflow. So step 1, marketing to the perfect client. Our goal is to have them respond. And that's what Josh is so good at doing. Step 2, client calls, texts, emails. Our only goal is to book the consultation, the in-person consultation. During that consultation, our only goal is to book the session. So everything that we do in that consultation is geared to booking the session. Go ahead.
Step 4, the session. That goal is for my dad to create those amazing images and make the session fun and an incredible experience. And do you go through each one of these points?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, we'll cover that in a second.
Step 5, projection sales. Goal is to maximize the sale. And then delivery, like what we did yesterday and today, our whole goal is to create a client for life. Okay. So this is kind of our workflow. So one thing that we try to bring, or at least I try to bring to a session, it might be a senior, it might be a commercial shoot like this, is a lot of energy. And I think that's one reason why I've been so good at being a portrait photographer, is that I love what I do. And I think that it shows when I'm actually doing the session, no matter what it is. Also, I try to make it fun. This is a family that I did in Maui a few years ago. And yeah, we did, separate family shots, but the main goal was a family on the beach, that kind of thing, that they could have over their fireplace. And so I make it fun, and I have them towards the end of the session actually running in the water and getting muddy and getting wet and all that kind of stuff. But you can just see how this is a real hard shot to try to get that looks genuine. And I think it looks very genuine, don't you?
Yeah. And I think this is sometimes and I get it, like you're a photographer, especially if you're doing a whole bunch on a weekend, like you have to remember that we do this every day. Most families will only ever do this once or twice in their whole lifetime. My wife's in real estate. It's the same thing. She's going to sell 100 houses this year. Most people will sell 1 or 2 houses in their whole lifetime. Well, she does that on a Tuesday. So, it's the same kind of thing. It's that reminder of, this could be one of the only times that this family is ever going to be together for a portrait like this. And it's really your job to make this as fun and as memorable as possible. And, things like when we photograph at the beach, usually the last session, we'll invite them to a bonfire, and we'll have, a charcuterie board and wine and s'mores for the kids. And, we're very conscious of trying to make it an experience, because it should be an experience. It should not just be, pay $50, show up, have the 15-minute session and then off you go. If you want to operate at the type of level that we are, it needs to be an experience. And when you do that, it's funny, clients will say, look, I don't always remember everything about the session, but I remember, that little Billy was being a jerk, and Bruce, you offered him $10 to smile, and then we all threw Billy in the water after the session, and Bruce, you captured that, and I mean, it's like that's the kind of stuff that people are going to look at that image and they're going to go, God, I remember that, and then they're going to think of you the next time, and they're going to remember you. So just don't discount that actual experience, and keep that energy up and make it fun.
Absolutely. And this might be kind of weird. I don't know if you've ever heard this before, but I really try to make my clients work a little bit. This is a session that we did up in Desolation Sound, way up in British Columbia. And it's like, the water was not super warm. It was, a little bit on the cold side, but to get the particular shot that I had envisioned and they had envisioned, we had to take their little Boston whaler and drop them off on this little, what would you call it? Little jetty or whatever. And then we back up and we take the shot. But as we're doing this, the tide is coming in, guys. And they're going, we got to do this fairly quickly. And so, just making them work a little bit, I think they appreciate the final product a lot more.
Yeah. And then starting with the end in mind, with that goal, create amazing images and make the session as fun as incredible and an incredible experience. And, and it's something that I hear my dad talk about in that consultation. It's something that I talk about on the phone with clients before they book the consultation. We're peppering this in because that really is our goal, is to make this fun. You've got cranky Uncle Buck who doesn't want to do it. And, you've got the twin cousins that are raised by wolves and don't want to cooperate. And, it can be a very daunting task for people. So just, keeping that energy up, and it's amazing how many, like, there's that one client said, can you just plan my family reunion? Because you're so much better with my family than I am, so it's fun that way.
Yeah. And if you haven't read this book by Stephen Covey, make sure you get it. All right. I love this part. Yeah. Unexpected surprises. So, I like to write notes. I like to write cards. I like to write letters to people. I like to hand write them. Number one, because I can't type very fast, but number two, nobody ever gets these. And so anytime that I can surprise somebody, not only is it a great, marketing thing, but it's also the right thing to do.
Yeah.
I think, nobody gets handwritten cards anymore. This is one that I just did, Josh, probably an hour and a half ago.
Oh, Landy. Yeah. I can see last name
Landy.
there. Yeah. Who's on our website.
She's on the website. She called today and just booked December 26th. And the last time we did it was 6 years ago. I looked it up. And so, I ran her card for $500 deposit, and, I put that receipt in a card, and it's so great talking to you. Her husband actually had a stroke a couple weeks ago.
Oh, no.
Believe it or not. So, and she has an idea for where she wants it to be, the session to be inside instead of outside last time, because everybody got cold. Here's the receipt. I'll see you in the 26th. So, is she expecting this? No. In a couple of days, she's going to get this. She's going to go, wow. I know why I come to this guy all these years. And she's probably a 30 plus year client of mine.
Yeah.
We like to give wine away also.
Yes, we do. And that wine that we are drinking right here is created by this gentleman here, Jens Hansen. Amazing winemaker, amazing patriot, 20 years in the Air Force. This guy was a gunner on the helicopters that the Air Force pararescue guys, when they would fly in and pick up the Navy SEALs behind enemy lines in countries that we don't even are not supposed to know we're even there. That was his job, was to protect those guys jumping out of the chopper. And now he's an amazing winemaker. And so us buying his wine and using his wine as gifts and telling the story and the fact that he's a client and stuff like that, people really appreciate it, guys. I brought a bottle of wine to my neighbor today. I dropped off her small prints. I forgot him yesterday when we installed the wall portraits. Brought her a bottle of wine to apologize. And she's like, oh my God, you guys are just so generous. She's like, we love you. We can't wait to do this again. I mean, it's the little things.
That's right. Unexpected. That's the key. And especially flowers. Especially after a large sale, I immediately call my florist who's in my BNI, and I have him send flowers to to say thank you for a sale, or I really enjoyed the session, or whatever. This, it might be a $50, $60, $100 investment, but trust me, it goes a long, long ways. It really does. So here's unexpected sneaky surprises. This is the 0.5.
Strategy 5.5.
And so here's a great example. When we have people come, especially if it's in the evening to see their work, it might be a consultation, or it might be they coming in for a projection appointment. A lot of times they'll say, we're not from around here. Do you recommend any restaurants? And so a buddy of ours who actually happens to be the mayor of Renton from the town where they build all the 737 aircraft, he owns this, or co-owns this restaurant. And so I'll say, do you like steak? And they go, yeah, we really like steak. Well, this has won like best of Western Washington for the last 10 years, and you need to go there, and blah, blah, blah. And so I can usually tell if they're, truly excited about going there. And if they are, I call the Melrose and I let them know that, hey, there's going to be a couple there probably in about 10 to 15 minutes. And I want to buy a bottle of wine for them, or I want to buy their first drinks, or I want to buy a dessert for them. And so this is kind of the sneaky part. They have no idea that I call them. And so when they sit down, the server comes over and says, oh, by the way, Bruce is buying your first round of drinks. And he just want to let you know how much he loves working with you. And so this is kind of that sneaky thing, right? Yep. I'm good at it.
You are.
I'm very sneaky.
You are.
Tomorrow. You like that, Chris, don't you?
I do. That's a great idea.
Bad boy. So tomorrow I'm doing a session at a client. Her partner, she's a lawyer. Her partner, I did her senior portraits back in the day. I did her son's senior portraits. She's in my BNI, and a wonderful person. And so we are photographing her partner tomorrow at 11 o'clock. You're going to help me, right?
Unfortunately, yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Working on Thanksgiving, but
anyway,
it's all about the client experience.
That's right. Thank you, son.
Yeah.
So during the consultation, Marianne was telling me about each of her kids. She's got 6 biological kids, 2 adopted kids. She went through, and they're all super high achievers. I mean, we're talking Yale, Harvard, going to be a lawyer, doing this, doing that. And she mentioned her husband. She said that her husband's kind of quiet, a little shy. He seems a little standoffish, but she told me that he wrote this book. And she goes, if you just mention the book, he'll love you forever. Okay. So he was a football coach, and he wrote a book that talked about this high school team, and a very controversial team. I think it was about recruiting or whatever.
Yeah.
Right. So she mentioned, just mention it to him and he'll love you forever. But you know what? I got it today from Amazon. It's a pretty thick book. I don't think I'm going to be able to read it before tomorrow, but I'm going to take it, and guess who's going to sign it? He is. So that's another one of those sneaky surprises. So you like that, Chris?
I do. Can
you see it?
Yes, we can see
Okay.
it. Actually, I'll make it big. We hold it up one more time.
Okay.
There we go.
You guys, it's the little stuff. It's picking up on these nuances from the clients, and just knowing that, okay, if the husband's kind of a tough nut to crack, which is kind of funny because that's what you have on the screen. Yeah.
There's a nut there.
And finding that kind of chink in the armor, and this guy's going to be my dad's best friend, which you want dad as the best friend in the sales session. And mom too, but it's and the thing is like most of the stuff that we're doing is not like, it's being sneaky. We're not, it's just the right thing to do. I've just found that like, if you do the right thing, good things happen, and the right thing to do is this kind of stuff. And it's going to be fun. And I can't wait to meet him because it sounds like a cool book.
It's going to be fun. So if you ain't first, you're last. Hopefully we're able to give you some cool strategies. Here they are again. Remember that first impression online, first impression in person. You have to have top-notch collateral materials, the session, and unexpected surprises. So I love that. Good job, Josh. How come my head's so big?
Guys.
The thing is, I am not a Photoshop guy. That was all done in Canva. So I tried my best. I really wanted to put Chris's picture on the French guy there, and then I wanted to put Rachel's on the woman. But I ran out of time.
That would have been great.
I know, but I ran out of time.
Next time, maybe we can do this again for you.
Yeah. So and before we get questions today, Chris, he emailed me like 11 o'clock. He goes, "Hey, you guys gonna do any specials or anything on your educational stuff?" And I was like, "Well, I wasn't planning on it, but since you asked, Chris, so we've actually got a really cool product. It's called the Hudson Method. It's how we do our in-person sales. It's consultation guides. It's all of our scripts for converting people from Facebook messages into consultations, from texts into consultations. So all the stuff that I've played with and tested over the years that works to get those people to come in person. It's also got a couple of video tutorials on how we do our in-person sales and
step by step.
Yeah. How our approach really is we do more educating than we do actual selling, which makes the sales process, more enjoyable for us and our client. And you've seen some of the wall portrait sales we've had here recently. It works. We've been doing it for 40 years. So if you guys are interested, you just go to hudsonsuccess.com, click on the shop button. I've already put in the discount. It's 30% off the normal price. And then I think Chris is going to have an email that goes out to you that has a direct link to that. So if any of you guys are interested, you can buy that. And then we'll also do like a 30-minute strategy call to help you implement it and answer any questions you have after the fact. So
how long is that offer good for?
It is good. How about till Thanksgiving night?
Ooh, okay.
You have till 9 p.m. Thanksgiving night to take action.
Is that 9 p.m. Pacific time then?
Pacific, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then also, if you've liked what you've heard and you would like to be on our list, just email me, Bruce at hudsonportraits.com. We will put you on the list. We have a new launch of our Hudson Success site that we've been working on for over 2 years now, with a lot of education on there. And there's actually going to be a free master class, 17 strategies for creating the most incredible
studio ever
kind of thing. Okay.
Yeah.
So
just email us. We'll put you on the list. We don't spam very much. So it's a way for us to get a hold of you when we do free webinars and cool stuff. So
cool.
Yep.
So we have some questions, Chris.
Yeah, let's get some of the questions. And if you do have a question, put it into chat right now. I know sometimes it takes a second to do that, so we'll get through a couple of these while we can. So I'm going to pop over there. And I do have to say that I have learned so much from you guys over the years as I've built my business and kind of progressed through this, following what Josh and Bruce are saying. 100% the right course. You definitely got my seal of approval on that. And every time that you guys put on a program, I'm just walking away with a notebook full of notes of good actionable ideas. So rest assured on that front for anybody that's there. So cool. We've got a question and wants to know about the websites. Do you use Subdomain for separate websites, or do you use each website on its own domain? And do you link to each domain website? Hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah, no, we use each website has its own URL, own domain. And then, on each one of those sites, we always have an area, like, for instance, on our main website that's all about families. We've got a navigation button, other services. You click on it, and then there's a page that has everything else that we do that backlinks to those sites as well. So it's kind of cool because you kind of start creating your own web traffic, where I look at my analytics and, the 3 top referring websites to my main website are my other websites. So it's kind of cool. We have kind of created our own web traffic in a sense, and it's worked out really good. So that's kind of how we do it.
Thank you. And last question that's here right now. How can you buy the Relationship Biographer 2.0? What's the best way to do that?
It's the same price, whether it's Amazon or through our website. So you can buy it through Amazon, or you can just go to hudsonsuccess.com, and in the shop there, the book's right there, order it. And
or just email, and I'll sign you a copy and send it tomorrow. Well, maybe Friday.
Right.
Well,
The
maybe
post office
Monday.
isn't open tomorrow.
Yeah,
Monday.
yeah. We'll
Yeah.
we'll get it out Monday. So either buy it through the website, or just email my dad or Amazon, whichever way you want. It's all about the customer experience.
Right? Those hidden little surprises that are coming through. So if you do have questions, type them in. We'll give it just a second more on that. And while we're looking at that kind of wrap up, I do want to kind of show you some of the cool stuff that we've got coming up, as well as do some prize giveaways. So our upcoming presentations, we've got in-person super sales, so how to sell 3 to 7 wall portraits every time with Lucy Dumas coming up. And at the end of December, photographing the old, the everyday, and the imperfect with Lisa. We're going to be looking at kind of unique ways of photographing things you don't necessarily traditionally photograph. So that should be kind of fun. ACI is opening up their Black Friday special, so it's only on Black Friday, but you can actually get it today as well on backdrops and flooring. You buy 2, get 1 free. Use the code EA Black Friday 21. That's early access, Black Friday 21. So you can get on those. So let's give away some prizes now. So up first, I know, everybody loves prizes. Got a $50 lab credit to ACI. So let's see who's walking away with a $50 lab credit. I've got the Wheel of Doom that's coming here. Or the Wheel of Prizes. That's way more fun. And it's Deborah. And you didn't put a last name when you registered, so if that's part of your email address, then you know that that's you. All right. So up next, we've got a $75 prize. So let's see who's getting the $75 lab credit. And it's a spinning. And it's Carolyn Huff. So congratulations, Carolyn. And I've got one more prize to give away, and that's a $100 lab credit. So let's see, that come in handy with getting samples or just reducing your lab bill. Try out a new product line. And looks like Barbara Potter. You guys know Barbara.
We know.
Yeah,
her.
we know her.
Yeah, she used to be in Washington, and then she moved away. So I'm going to take a quick peek here, see if we had any more questions. If we email for the book, does it come with wine?
No.
No.
But if you come to Seattle, come visit us. We'll take you to lunch. We'll have a wine lunch. How's that? Or
That
dinner.
sounds like a pretty good. You
go
might
to
even
Melrose.
drink wine
Yeah.
while signing it, right? No.
Yeah, we'll go to the Melrose. We'll drink wine, eat steak, and we'll sign the book while we're doing it.
That's right.
There you go. Open invitation anytime.
Gary, want to know your email address one more time.
It's Bruce, BRUCE, at Hudson Portraits with an S.com.
Okay, I'll put that in the follow-up email as well, along with the link to what your guys' special offer is, so that we've got that and everybody can kind of connect with you that way. So before we head out, if you do have ideas for future episodes, anything that you'd like to see, learn more about, email me. That's hello@cwooley.com, and I will track down awesome people like Bruce and Josh, and we'll bring them and connect everybody there. So thank you so much, guys. I had a blast with you learning, and I've got a whole bunch of notes here on things that I want to implement in my studio and stuff to do a little bit differently. So thanks for joining us.
Cool. Thanks, Chris.
Bye.
Bye, guys.